Hey, do you remember that big-headed cheat code? Yeah, let's give it a go. This is Transformers Age of the Primes Commander Class Aerial Bot Silverbolt in another lovely Commander Class box like the previously released Commander Class Motormaster. Silverbolt comes with a big nondescript chunk that becomes the body of Superion, but more on that later. His obligatory instruction sheet, a big one at that, a large gun and a smaller gun. As for Silverbolt, there are a couple of steps out of the box. Open the cockpit and fold out the nose cone. Flip him over and extend the front and rear landing gear. As for the nose cone, it can do the Concorde thing, which is pretty cool. The guns have multiple functions, mostly due to the other modes, but you can store the gun under the jet and the larger can store on the chunk. Taking a closer look at the Concorde mode, because that's how he's boxed. It's a fairly typical Silverbolt, to be honest. Jet on top, folded up robot chunk below. Though other than what becomes his feet later, it's not terribly bad. They're the only part that really sticks out from the top down silhouette, though sometimes the camera makes it look a little different. The plastic is a consistent pale grey. Hopefully no yellowing issues on this one. Nice gold paint and Autobot tampos. I don't particularly mind Superion's head under there either. His antenna kinda look like laser cannons, and his head doubles as a landing gear. Speaking of which, it's shit. It needs to lock in somehow. The slightest nudge in the wrong direction and it collapses. Just a little locking nub or something would have been nice. Now the jet mode can become a Superjet mode, connecting with the chunk. Let's prepare Silverbolt first. Split and spread his tail fin. Untab and lift his wings. Fold out these small wing tips. Now set him aside. Now for the chunk. Bend the gun and attach it like before. Fold out the little side wings and unfold these connector clips. Now grab Silverbolt and connect him to the chunk via the red connectors and his golden thighs. Fold Silverbolt's wings back and tab them in, both to bolt and the chunk. Peg in the small gun under the nose cone, and there we have a Superjet. Hey, it's not terrible. It looks alright, and it joins together fairly easily and looks cohesive. Can't complain. Before we do the main size comparisons, here's a super mode one. Age of Extinction Optimus Prime with 86 Optimus Primes trailer. The parallaxing of the camera makes it a little hard to tell the scale here, so here's them stacked on top of each other. What do you think about the Superjet mode? Tell me in the comments below. Now normal vehicle mode size comparisons. Here with Age of Extinction Optimus Prime again, Studio Series Constructicon Scrapper, Age of the Primes Air Raid, and Slingshot. Transformation time. Open the cockpit and fold away the nose cone. Close it up again. Lift the tail, then hinge it, leveling it sitting like this. Lift the entire nose cone fuselage section up, allowing it to untab from here. Then hinge it forward on its armature, hinge it back, and nest it on top of the tail section, tabbing them together. Untab and fold back the wings around the nose cone section, untab the legs from the body, folding them down at the hips, unfold the feet from the legs, and then unfold the heels. Straighten the legs at the knees, rotate the entire leg to face forward. Hinge open the chest panel, fold out the arms, straighten the arms at the elbows, fold out his hands, unfold Silverbolt's noggin, and fold away Superion's. Close the chest back up, making sure Superion's antenna go into the recesses. Be very careful here. Rotate Silverbolt's head, fold his wings back out, and we have robot mode. That's definitely Silverbolt. Love him or hate him. Transformation was great, nice fresh take. A bit like Optimus Prime, there's only so many ways you can get from truck to robot, or in this case Concorde to robot. Yes, he has a huge backpack, but that's a staple of the aerial bot design, and I like to think of it as a huge rocket pack. Taking a closer look, Silverbolt's head is spot on in my opinion. Initially not the biggest fan of this head sculpt, but it does grow on you, especially compared to Superion's, which is awesome. But it looks good for what it is. Very minimal paint applications, with the exception of the lovely blue eyes and the silver face. I can definitely foresee a Toy Hacks set in the near future for this guy. Hit me up, Toy Hacks. We also have an additional Autobot tampo on the chest. Love his little faux wings on the shoulders too. Articulation wise, his head is on a ball joint, allowing for full rotation, nod, and a quizzical waggle. Universal Soldiers.
Universal Soldier, the return.
Universal shoulders, allowing for full range in all directions, though you need to fold the wing back or it will clash. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow going past 90. No wrists, which is unfortunate, though he can point a sword due to the transformation joint. Tight and restricted waist rotation, universal hips with a full front and side movement, though the backswing is stopped by kibble. The forward and back is also ratcheted. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, ankle tilts, and a heel bend. You can also make use of the foot transformation joint too. Though limited by his backpack and kibble, articulation is pretty decent. Robot mode size comparisons. Here with Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Age of the Primes Megatronus, Age of the Primes Air Raid, and Slingshot. Silverbolt can of course use both weapons in this mode. Pegged into his hands, you'll need to fold out the barrel and the handle of the larger gun, and when not using them, they can be tabbed into either side of his backpack. Before combine mode, there is a turret or base mode if you will. Grab the chunk, lift what becomes the chest 90 degrees, and untab this clip. Separate the chest and crotch piece from the main chunk. Fold up the two red connection pieces. Fold down the locking tab on the chest piece, then fold the chest panel back down. Rotate the upper leg at the thigh swivel 180. Connect the two pieces via this series of tabs. Tab in the large rifle, and there you have your turret emplacement. Hey, it is what it is, I guess. Extra play value if you're into it, but moving swiftly on. Now let's prepare Silverbolt for combine mode. We are essentially transforming him halfway back to Concorde mode. Fold back the wings, rotate Silverbolt's head, untab the chest and fold it forward. Fold out Superion's head, fold in Silverbolt's head, fold in his hands, fold the elbows back, rotate the arms back into the chest cavity, close up and tab in the chest. Rotate the legs at the thighs, knees inward, bend the knees 90 degrees, having the hinge roughly 45 degrees. Fold the heels in and the feet up. Fold the legs up at the hips and collapse them over the forearms and then tabbing them into the side of the chest. Rotate the Superion head, fold the wings forward, untab and lift the fuselage. Lift the tail section, these will be used to lock in later. Now put that aside and we'll work on the big old chunk. Remove the rifle, separate the chest section, untab the two leg sections, separate the remaining two arm sections in the center. Now working on the lower legs, fold these pieces in, fold out the knee assembly, then fold out the knee joint. Push in these locking pins, fold out the toe and tab them in. Put them aside. Now for the arms, fold out the fists, unfold the arms on this series of hinges. Very similar to Motormaster if you've handled him. Again, put them aside. Torso, lift the chest panel, lift the locking tab, rotate the legs into the correct orientation, fold them down into position. Now fold the chest panel forward. Now to assemble it all. Plug Silverbolt into the hip piece, tab in the rear locking tab, then fold the tail flap back in and tab that in as well. Collapse and tab in the fuselage, close up and tab in the chest panel via these tabs. Attach the legs via the attachment points at the knees. Slide the arms down over Silverbolt's feet, and that's a lonely Superion. Make sure the wings are folded back when you do this, otherwise they won't slide on properly. Transformation / assembly is easy enough and a fun process. Easy to learn and repeat. Let's do a quick articulation check on Superion. Head is on a ball joint, can rotate, nod and waggle a little. Full range of ratcheted shoulder rotation, plus 90 degree of outward ratcheted movement. Bicep swivel, 90 degree elbow bend, and a wrist swivel. Restricted waist swivel, hinged hip flaps, ratcheted universal hips with a full range in all axis. Thigh rotation, 90 degrees ratcheted knee bend, and ankle tilts. Not bad considering all he has to do, though I do wish he had articulated hands, but I'm sure DNA will fix that issue fairly soon. My right hip does sound a little mushy though, hopefully not a widespread issue. Let me know if you get this, and it does have a weird hip too. Now as of this recording, there are only two of the aerial bot limb robots out, Air Raid and Slingshot. I've already prepared them. If you need to see how, check out their individual videos when they're out. Air Raid attaches to the leg very much the same way as Menasaw's leg bots. Not my favourite design, but it's alright.
I mean, it's alright.
Again, the function of attaching the robot closes the leg doors. Now please do not force the bots onto their respective pegs. Menasaur had breakage issues with some pegs, so just be mindful. Now for Slingshot. Collapse the combiner arm back into its compact mode. Peg on Slingshot, which will release the two halves, and then extend the arm back out to its full form. On my copy, this was a little bit tight, so just be careful not to force things, yeah? And that, my friends, so far, is 3/5 of Superion. I had to say it like that because I couldn't get fifths out. Now air raid does stick out pretty far, which does look kind of odd, but slingshot looks fine. In fact, he looks really good on the arm. Dude, in person, Superion is fucking awesome. Looks even better in person, especially when posed up. Combined mode size comparisons. Here with Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, and Age of the Primes Megatronus. He's a big boy. For the fun of it, Legacy Menasor, even though it's not really in the shot properly, sorry about that. Commander Class Silverbolt here, and by extension Superion, is fantastic. With the exception of that one questionable hip ratchet, the build quality and plastics feel good. I hope the greyish white plastic doesn't yellow over time, but for now it looks good. Though the combiner chunk looks kinda dumb, I like it. It neatly folds away the combiner skeleton and has multiple uses. Well done design team. Well worth picking up. Far superior, no pun intended, to the Combiner Wars and the Unite Warrior sets in my opinion. I'm actually considering picking up a second set if I can eventually, or a G2 set if they do that. That was Transformers, Age of the Primes, Commander Class, Aerialbot, Silverbolt, and Superior. Thank you all so much for watching. This was a longer video than normal, but we had a lot to cover. Please drop me a like for my efforts and let me know what you think of this set, and I'll see you on the next one.